I'm behaving disgracefully. I have eaten animal flesh, and I've enjoyed it.
You dunking your sausages in that syrup, homeboy?
Hey, it's Janelle Waz, and welcome back to another episode of Treknalysis. Time traveling, swashbuckling, barbecue, and love. What a way to end the original run of Star Trek.
You will obey my orders!
Oh, right. Well, either way, with how weird the third season of the original Star Trek got, All Our Yesterdays is one of the good episodes to come out of that season. I mean, this is a season where aliens steal Spock's brain, space hippies take over the Enterprise, and whatever the hell Plato's stepchildren was. Spock getting sexy after having some barbecue ribs is probably one of the more normal parts of that season. And I can't believe I just said that.
What is wrong with you people?
But considering the episode that follows, the infamous finale Turnabout Intruder, an episode that I admit is a guilty pleasure if only for the high amounts of Shatnering, All Our Yesterdays would have arguably been a more fitting ending to this series, with its classic Trek camp, moral dilemmas, and even emotional moments. Yesterday, all our troubles seem so far away, but now it looks as if they're here to stay with all our yesterdays.
Spock, McCoy, hurry through the portal, time is running out.
But before I go further, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I talk a lot about Star Trek, video games, and whatever else I feel like talking about. And if you'd like to help support the channel, consider becoming a member. Be great to have you aboard. A star is about to go nova in 3.5 hours, which, for comparison, is roughly the runtime of The Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring, Extended Edition. I mean, there are worse ways to spend your final hours.
I don't know why. It makes me sad.
With the Enterprise in orbit, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy beam down to the only habitable planet in the system. Only nobody's home. Alright, well, nobody's here. Not much we can do. Oh, we're exploring the library? Well, okay.
Free library.
That's right. Come on, let's check it out.
It's all for free!
I am the librarian, Mr. Atos.
Oh, I get it. It's Atos because it's A to Z and he runs a library. That is so dumb. Mr. Atos is surprised to find them since everyone has already gone to a place of their choosing. Yeah, he doesn't really elaborate much on that and pushes our unsuspecting heroes into the library.
May I help you?
And the library is full of, tapes. Yeah, this is one of the moments where the original series shows its age. Tapes, floppy disks, even printouts, stuff largely considered obsolete even today. Like it or not, the TNG era shows aged a lot nicer. But okay, so this library is still using tapes, which, to be fair, are these circle mirror discs, so I guess it still retains a little bit of dignity. And upon going to the reference desk, wait, what the hell is going on here? Well, the good news is everyone's safe. They've known for a long time that their star was about to nova, followed instructions, and were sent to safety by Mr. Atos a long time ago. Alright, I guess that concludes our business here. Let's beam.
We'll choose it as quick as we can.
Why? Alright, so why all the Atoses? Well, because no one was on the planet anymore, Mr. Atos still wanted to run the library until the very last moment when he joins his wife and family, so he created replicas to help him out. And the Atos at the reference desk is the original.
I am the real Mr. Atos.
All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating.
Atos insists Kirk, Spock, and McCoy make their escape before it's too late, but the library is at their service and they can browse the tapes of the planet's history. McCoy's looking at Hoth, I guess. Kirk is looking at Gunsmoke to the Stars, and Spock is asking questions about Atos' weird machine that's used to prepare them after they've made their selection. But a scream prompts Kirk to bolt from his chair, go through the arch, and wind up in the Renaissance. Actually, judging from the attire, it could very well be the 17th century. My history of fashion is a little hazy pre-18th century.
You must be prepared.
You have to marinate for 2 hours. Spock and McCoy follow behind, but instead end up winding up on Discount Hoth, freezing their asses off. You know, it seems like Atos could have replicated some library security.
But you put on a pair of shoes when you walk into the New York Public Library, fella.
Yes, people of the past, your ways are quaint to Captain Kirk. No 3D chess or weird card tricks to freak out the Yeomans for fun. Instead, it's pushing a woman around while everyone laughs? What the hell? Are you so bored because TV hasn't been invented yet? What, is sword fighting a required course at the Academy? Why do so many Starfleet officers know how to sword fight?
Very impressive.
And it turns out that this woman is a thief, possibly drunk, and has the hots for Captain Kirk. Lady, who doesn't?
I'm game, love. Leading our father.
Kirk tries to take her back to the library, but there's no library anymore, just a wall. Kirk, however, can hear Spock and McCoy shouting from behind the wall, but in reality, they're in a completely different place. Specifically,
We're in a wilderness of Arctic characteristics.
He means it's cold.
Spock deduced that Atos' machine opens portals into the past, and that's where everyone went.
Apparently, they've all escaped the destruction of their world by retreating into its past.
Oh, I see what happened. They Echo the Dolphin their way out of it. Guys, do you know how many timelines you possibly created with this little stunt? I mean, if Captain Kirk has a file with temporal investigations for the handful of times he went into the past, who knows how big the file on these people is? Even Captain Janeway's blushing. And of course, the thieving woman doesn't understand any of this and thinks Kirk is talking to spirits. So he's punched out and arrested.
Jim sounded like he was in trouble.
No Bones! So Kirk's in prison for thievery and purse cutting, as well as talking to spirits. And his new girlfriend is over in the other cell. But at least the judge is stopping by to hear Kirk's side of things.
Where are you from?
It's called Earth.
I know no island Earth.
This island Earth?
Normal view.
Credit where credit is due. The judge does seem like he wants to hear Kirk out and, at the very least, isn't dismissive of his testimony. Maybe he's hiding his disbelief well, but he doesn't seem like he wants to condemn Kirk outright. Kirk explains he never saw that woman before tonight and thought she was being attacked, so he stepped in to help her.
I was reading in the library when I heard her scream.
The judge determines Kirk is an honest, innocent man and seemingly is about to let him go.
He's a witch!
Oh, shut up! But Chetty Cathy here insists she heard Kirk talking to spirits, which is backed up by the arresting guard, so the judge denies knowing about the library or Mr. Atos and keeps Kirk in prison for witchcraft. Yeah, keep it up, Kirk, and they'll put the berries and cream guy in your cell.
Berries and cream, berries and cream. I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream.
Witch!
Is that your hair, or did a tribble die on your head? Meanwhile, Spock and McCoy are freezing their asses off, so they seek shelter. Except McCoy's gotta ruin the Winter Wonderland experience. Honestly, I would have thought Spock, being from a hot planet, would have more trouble in, let's just call it Santa's nightmare. But just when all hope seemed lost, Spock and McCoy are rescued by an ice Jawa. A sexy ice Jawa, who just so happens to live in a nice warm cave that's perfect for defrosting McCoy. And also, she clearly digs Spock.
Hello there.
This is Zarabeth. She's a prisoner here after some of her family members conspired against their tyrannical leader, Zorkon, and he wanted to punish the entire family, so he sent her 5,000 years into the past during the planet's ice age. Meanwhile, she's never seen an alien before, but she's always loved sci-fi and the possibility of life on other planets. Probably enjoys her planet's version of Star Trek and crushes on that Mr. Spork on the show as well. But that's all just fiction, it's not real.
It's real.
I'm going mad!
I'm not crazy.
You are not imagining this.
After some time in the cave, Defrost Kelly is a little less icy, but still recovering, and good lord, woman, put some clothes on! I get she has proper attire to go out into the cold, but come on, you're telling me that there aren't any cave drafts that would make this outfit freezing? This has to be the most impractical outfit for this climate. The boots are cool though. Spock's next objective is to figure out how to get through the portal to get the Kirk, but he starts arguing with himself at this point. He can't leave McCoy because he'll be stuck here, but then again, he also made sure that McCoy was out of danger, so he's good on that, so of course he needs to go help Kirk. It's quite the conundrum.
Make it sound like an equation.
Well, it should be an equation.
Uh-oh, Spock, your emotion is showing. And then to make matters worse, according to Zarabeth, they can't go back through the portal. They're stuck here.
When we come through the portal, we are changed by the Atavachron.
Wait a minute.
When you have chosen, I will prepare you through the Atavachron.
None of them went through the Atavachron, which changes your cell structure so you can live in the past. This isn't a problem for them. Both of them should be able to go through the portal. Spock, you know all this from earlier.
If only I knew more about how it worked.
Why does that matter? You didn't go through it. What are you doing, man? Meanwhile, Frostilicus has awakened.
Moon pie. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, go back to bed, Doctor. We're trapped here with the only sexy woman for at least 1,000 years, and nothing to see here. Meanwhile, in the 17th century, no prison can keep Kirk locked up. Actually, it's kind of impressive nobody's heard the yelling from Kirk's little scheme here. It turns out that the judge actually escaped the planet's destruction by going through the portal to live in the 17th century. The judge tells Kirk that they're stuck here because the Atavachron changed their cell structure so they could even live here, so if they try to go back, they'll die. Except Kirk, whose brain isn't tied up making goo-goo eyes at a scantily clad woman, didn't go through the Atavachron.
Then you must get back at once. If you were not transformed, you can only survive for a few hours here in the past.
Again, this is all stuff Spock should already know. The judge leads Kirk back to the portal, and Kirk clips out of the 17th century and back into the library. Meanwhile...
You are a beautiful cook.
The secret of a good souffle is consistency. You have to be careful not to overwhip it.
McCoy is starting to feel better and is being his usual friendly with the ladies self while taking jabs at Spock. Yeah, he must be feeling better. Zarabeth leaves the two, I don't know, would you call them buddies? And McCoy is focused on finding Kirk. Spock, on the other hand, hasn't done jack shit because he was too busy having an internal argument out loud, and McCoy is reasonably pissed that Spock has given up so easily.
And perhaps you were too ill to understand what can't get back means.
Oof, that was pretty even for Spock. McCoy even goes as far to suggest that Spock wants to stay here. Probably because of these sexy ice Jawa.
Now you listen to me, you pointed-eared Vulcan.
I don't like that.
Whoa, touched a nerve. Meanwhile, with about 17 minutes before they all die, Kirk has to fight 3 old men who are determined to prepare him. Yeah, he probably holds his own better than Riker.
Vitamins. They do wonders for the body.
One of them pulls a heater on Kirk and knocks him out. To be fair, Atos is from a civilization that doesn't have space travel, so he probably can't conceive that Kirk isn't from here and is leaving soon. He just can't leave him here because that would mean certain death, so he's doing everything he can to save him. He's probably the episode's antagonist, which is probably a strong word for him, but he's definitely not a villain, at least not in the traditional sense. Zarabeth, on the other hand, nah, she's in a crap situation too. Isolated from everyone, and not even for a crime that she committed. She's just happy to have company.
Do you know what it's like to be alone? Really alone?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Spock, could you be any more of an emo teenager? And like all teenagers, Spock is hungry. Unfortunately, he's a vegetarian, and there's not much to eat around here other than meat. Could use some sauce.
Can't wait to see you tackle the spare ribs.
Now, Spock's been acting kinda weird ever since Zarabeth came into the picture. His logic seems to have left him, he can't think straight, and he's not so secretly noticing the only woman around. And she's barely dressed. Well, eating meat kicked all that up to 11. And meat has an unusually sexy effect on Spock.
With sexy results.
Despite the cold, his love for Zarabeth burned. Much like that plate of ribs she cooked up for him. Hey, the closest way to a man's heart is through his stomach, am I right?
You are beautiful.
I've longed to hear you say it.
Lady, you've known him for less than 3 hours. This is like the Sega CD Dune romance. What, one walk out in the desert after a couple hours and you're in love? Well, at least Spock is having as bad a time as me right now.
3 days. You were only there for 3 days and you couldn't restrain yourself.
Yeah, while Spock's making kissy faces and possibly fathering a future nation of Spockettes, they're all about to die! Gee, I wonder where Geordi got it from. We're doomed. I'm gonna knock you into the next alphabet! Meanwhile, on Discount Rurapenthe...
You've been dishonest with me, Spock.
I can explain. Spock insists he didn't lie to McCoy, but McCoy points out that he got his facts from Zarabeth, who isn't exactly the most reliable source because she's been here alone with no internet. She would do almost anything to keep anyone here.
The truth is, you can't get back.
She would not jeopardize other lives.
Spock, you have no basis for that. You barely know the woman. Heck, what if you're not even the first one that Zarabeth found? You ever think of that?
Are you trying to kill me, Spock? Is that what you really want?
What I want is a McRib.
A tender pork patty smothered in barbecue sauce, topped with pickles and zesty onions stacked high on a bakery roll.
Oh yeah, and Spock's acting erratically because he's telepathically linking up to the Vulcans of this time, who are currently warring with each other. So my question is Spock influencing the Vulcans of this time now, even just a little? Is one in the middle of a battle and randomly thinks up the idea for the slap chop?
You're gonna be in a great mood all day because you're gonna be slapping your troubles away with the slap chop.
Zarabeth fesses up that she only knows that she can't go back. Which Spock should have put together about 20 minutes ago, but some guy over on Vulcan was coming up with a magic bullet at the time. Also, let's not overlook that Zarabeth did technically lie to the both of them.
You told the truth up to a point, but a lie of omission is still a lie.
Meanwhile, Kirk and Ataz have been poring over the tapes until they find Ice Age. With, 5 minutes until Nova, Spock decides to stall for time.
I do not wish to part from you.
Knock him out and drag him through. We're all about to die. Spock manages to pull himself away from Zarabeth, and he and McCoy return to the present while Ataz goes to join his family. So let's just shoot the breeze for the last 2 minutes the planet is gonna be around.
Yes, it happened. But that was 5,000 years ago.
It was 5,000 years ago. It's time to move on. And that was all our yesterdays. A pretty good episode, especially for season 3. For a season filled with wacky moments, episodes that feel very 60s, or are just plain bad ideas. Here we have a decent sci-fi episode with, granted, some wacky moments, but also some emotional ones thrown in. I also like that Ataz and Zarabeth, though they can be viewed as antagonists, which I still argue is a strong word to call them, are not bad people, just ones in crappy situations. Their motivations are understandable even if they run contrary to our hero's goals. It's a gray area that Star Trek tends to handle pretty well. The stronger part of the episode is Spock battling against his passions to be with Zarabeth, while the part with Kirk in the past tends to feel more like padding than anything else. It could probably be taken out of the episode altogether, but still, its campy moments are entertaining. Much like with Enterprise, I think a lot of fans wish this was the finale rather than the following episode, ending on a high note rather than a low. But at the very least, we got to see good performances from our heroes one last time. Well, at least until the movies. Meanwhile, I bet Kirk's asking Spock when the next barbecue is.
You don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad.
So what did you think of all our yesterdays? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you consider it to be one of the show's high points? Would it have been a better finale than Turnabout Intruder? And what are some of your favorite original series episodes? Please leave comments below and discuss. As always, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Treknalysis. If you like what you see, why not give my video a like and subscribe to my channel? Tell your friends. Until next time.
We're in a wilderness of Arctic characteristics.
He means it's cold.